wild footsteps resound like nature's own drums, as millions of creatures surge together across the African savannah. On the boundless plains, they race forward in urgency. Crossing raging rivers that roar as if to swallow everything whole. The herds, relentless, unyielding. For before them lies the call of life itself, the tender green pastures, springing up only briefly after a fleeting storm. This is the Great Migration, one of the planet's greatest epics. Yet it is also a brutal trial. 1 in 10 will fall forever along the way. Still, the tide presses on, a wild, indomitable force, pounding like the heartbeat of the earth, always moving, always striving forward. Welcome to the wild savannah, where migration becomes a symphony of survival, of courage, and of life's eternal endurance in the face of majestic nature. Since the 1970s, the African savannah has echoed with an endless cycle of survival. Each year, more than 1.7 million wildebeest, 260,000 zebras, and 470,000 gazelles set forth together on a monumental migration epic. From the Serengeti to the Masai Mara, they cross over 1,200 miles of sun-scorched, unforgiving land, driven by the hope of reaching fresh green pastures and the life-giving waters. Every stride, every leap, is more than mere movement. It is a race for life itself, where fragile existence is constantly tested by the looming presence of death. The wildebeest herds surge forward like an endless, raging tide, sweeping up clouds of dry grass in the wind. Their hooves never cease, all driven toward the promised land. Each weighing up to 600 pounds, they face the merciless trials nature has set upon this path of life and death. But for calves barely 40 pounds, the world is a cruel survival test. Predators lurk in the shadows, waiting for the slightest mistake. Roars tear through the night, mingling with desperate cries that echo across the vast savanna skies. And yet, the greatest trial still lies ahead. The Mara River. Beneath its muddy waters, giant Nile crocodiles, stretching over 16 feet long, lie in silent ambush. Their dagger-like teeth are poised to snap shut on the weak, turning the river into a battlefield of life and death. On this journey, some 250,000 wildebeest and 30,000 zebras perish. Thirst of the dry season, hunger as pastures wither, and sheer exhaustion bring many down, while cold-blooded predators never miss their chance to strike the vulnerable. This is a brutal odyssey, where death is the inescapable soundtrack. Yet for the survivors, it is nature's ultimate trial, a relentless clash between hope and peril. Within this eternal migration epic, life and death intertwine, painting a grand, ferocious, and defiant portrait upon one of the harshest landscapes on Earth. The Serengeti, a vast, flat plain stretching over 5,700 square miles, is the birthplace of one of the greatest epics Earth has ever witnessed. This is the very heart of the Great Migration, a natural phenomenon that has echoed for millions of years, etched into every shift of the land, every breath of the climate, like an endless symphony of life. It is here that the lifeblood of countless species begins. Around 2 million years ago, the arrival of the blue wildebeest, zebra, and gazelle laid the foundation for a one-of-a-kind ecosystem. On the Serengeti, the eternal cycle of life was set in motion. When the rains return, green shoots burst from the soil, summoning the great herds to march. And when the dry season scorches the land, the parched earth becomes a call to leave, driving millions onward in search of new promised pastures. According to scientific research in 2023, the Great Migration began some 1.7 million years ago, during the Pleistocene epoch, a time when Earth was both unforgiving and nurturing. Since then, nature has forged a survival cycle essential to the savannah, a timeless rhythm that humankind today can only observe from afar with awe and wonder. Since the 1970s, relentless conservation efforts have gradually brought stability back to the herds. Their numbers began to recover, and the grand story of life continued to be written, stretching from the distant past into the present, from the ancient footsteps to the new ones, pressing forward across the endless plains. When the rainy season fades, the green mantle of the grasslands withers away. The searing sun scorches the ground. The blades of grass shrivel, no longer able to sustain an ocean of life. In that fragility, instinct compels the herds to move. But the Great Migration is more than just a quest for food. It is a symbol of unity among small, fragile creatures standing before nature's grandeur. Herd after herd, they converge into a colossal force, advancing like a roaring river. In their steps, life finds protection. The weak are shielded. The leaders carve the path for those who follow. And together, they become an unstoppable strength. Each pounding hoof resounds like nature's drum, lifting dust, stirring the air. The herds transform into a living wave, a majestic dance of survival. And within every stride, within every breathless gasp, lies a fierce contest with nature itself. A place where life and death march side by side, where hope and hardship weave together into a raw, mighty, and unyielding portrait upon one of Earth's harshest lands. The timing of the Great Migration across the African savanna follows no fixed schedule. It is a journey guided by the sky, the land, and pure instinct. The wildebeest do not count the days. They listen to the call of the wind, the rain, and the tender green shoots rising from the earth. The harsh, unpredictable climate of the African plains becomes the invisible hand that maps an endless route. An unceasing journey where life and hardship merge in nature's relentless dance. When the brief rains arrive between December and March, the Serengeti awakens. The first drops fall like liquid life, stirring the dry earth and summoning lush pastures bursting with vitality. According to the Tanzania Meteorological Authority, 2023, an average rainfall of 4 to 12 inches per month transforms the plains into a vast sea of green, a grand feast for millions of new mothers. The grasses of the Serengeti not only sustain life, but also form the foundation of a vast ecosystem. Species like Themata triandra and Penniceta mesianum flourish with the rains, becoming the lifeline of countless grazers. The Tanzania Wildlife Research Institute, 2023, confirms that the mild climate of 20 to 26 degrees Celsius and the lush grasslands create ideal conditions for reproduction, a miraculous cycle where life bursts forth in perfect rhythm with nature. At this time, Ndutu, the southern reaches of the Serengeti, comes alive, draped in an endless green mantle. This is the cradle of life, where hundreds of thousands of blue wildebeest gather. Standing 1.2 to 1.5 meters tall and weighing up to 290 kilograms, they transform the plains into a living ocean. Within weeks, more than 500,000 calves are born. It is both a magnificent and strategic event, predator swamping. With so many newborns at once, predators like lions, hyenas, and cheetahs cannot consume them all, forced to accept the overwhelming tide. Yet here, there is no room for delay. Just minutes after birth, calves weighing around 18 kilograms must stand. Within hours, they must run, an instinctive race for survival against the predator's claws. Nourished by their mother's rich milk, they grow quickly, reaching speeds of 40 to 50 kilometers per hour within weeks, nearly matching adults. The wildebeest, the backbone of the Great Migration, are never free from danger. Lions, hyenas, African wild dogs, and cheetahs stalk their every move. But they are not alone. The power of the herd is their greatest weapon. Thousands packed together, flowing like a living river, leaving predators struggling to single out a target. Adult males form a defensive wall, their sharp, curved horns guarding the fragile young. Zebras, too, converge on Ndutu. Although they can breed year-round, the rains give them a powerful advantage. Each adult, standing 1.2 meters tall and weighing 350 to 450 kilograms, moves in large groups, their hoofbeats pounding like an endless drum across the savannah. Masters of adaptation, they graze even on coarse, dry grasses that others leave behind, roaming dozens of kilometers in search of water. After 12 to 13 months of pregnancy, foals weighing about 32 kilograms are born. And within 20 to 30 minutes, they must stand and run with the herd. With powerful kicks and a strong sense of unity, zebras fight back under the leadership of a dominant stallion. During the rainy season, the Ndutu Plains also become a paradise for Thompson's gazelles. Small, just 60 to 70 centimeters tall, and weighing 20 to 35 kilograms, they possess extraordinary speed. With a short gestation of only 5 to 6 months, fawns weighing just 4 to 5 kilograms rely on camouflage, their pale brown coats blending into the grasses. Each day, the mother nurses her young once before leaving it motionless, hidden in the savannah. As adults, they can sprint up to 80 kilometers per hour, leaping into high starting jumps to warn off predators. In their migration, gazelles often trail behind the larger herds, taking advantage of leftover fresh shoots, minimizing competition and conserving energy. Small but far from weak, they are quick, vibrant notes in the grand symphony of survival, adding agility and brilliance to the magnificent canvas of the Great Migration. After the bustling birthing season in the early months of the year, when hundreds of thousands of calves take their first steps, the lush green pastures of southern Serengeti begin to fade. By April and May, the rains stop. The sun scorches the earth, and the fresh, tender grass disappears, replaced by a sea of brittle, withered stalks. Fields that once felt like paradise are now trampled under millions of pounding hooves of wildebeests, zebras, and Thompson's gazelles. The weight of an entire continent presses into the soil, etching its story into the history of this land. This is the threshold of one of nature's most brutal chapters, the Great Migration. Southern Serengeti, once the promised land, has turned barren, stripped of nourishment. But farther north, in Documentay, Mara, and beyond, the grass is still green, and rivers still flow. And only that road north holds the promise of survival. The departure of the herds is never set to a calendar. It can begin any time from late April to early June, when the southern plains can no longer sustain their massive numbers. At that moment, an ancient instinct echoes like a command: go north. And so, the Great March begins. More than 1.5 million wildebeests, 300,000 gazelles, and 200,000 zebras move as one. Seen from above, they form endless lines stretching up to 25 miles, like a living river surging across the savannah, carrying the rhythm of life, death, and renewal. Each individual with a single purpose: to survive. The wildebeest, voracious grazers with stomachs that never rest, devour tons of grass each day. They cannot stop. According to a 2023 ecological study, during this stage of the migration, the herds move faster than at any other time of the year, covering 6 to 9 miles daily. It isn't a choice, it's survival, passed down through thousands of generations. As the southern and central Serengeti dry up, they must push forward before the dry season tightens its grip. To hesitate is to risk hunger, exhaustion, and death. The rains fade, leaving scattered streams and marshes along the western corridor. The herds follow these veins of water, their hooves drumming a relentless beat that shakes the earth. The savannah becomes a racetrack of life and death, where stamina and speed decide fate. The migration isn't a chaotic stampede. It's a finely tuned survival strategy. Moving in vast numbers creates a colossal living shield. Predators struggle to single out prey when faced with such overwhelming abundance. Yet as the journey stretches on, the megaherds fragment into smaller groups. Each one becomes a fortress of survival, lightening the pressure on grasslands while giving individuals a better chance at food. Over 750 miles, every step is a gamble on the knife's edge between life and death. As the herds near Documentay, the tension mounts. The Serengeti turns into a battlefield. Lions and cheetahs, the apex assassins of the plains, strike with precision. Lions, masters of organized hunting, wait at choke points where weary animals falter. Lionesses lie hidden in tall grass, behind thickets, or atop uneven mounds, ambushing the moment the herd slows. A sudden leap, a deadly pounce. The outcome is swift. But the prey aren't defenseless. Zebras, with their keen eyesight, often act as sentinels. A 2023 Serengeti Institute study found that zebras can detect lions from nearly 1.5 miles away. When danger looms, they sound piercing alarms, sending shockwaves of panic through the herds. Thousands instantly shift formation, ready to bolt. Speed becomes the ultimate weapon. Zebras and wildebeests can hit 40 to 50 miles per hour, forcing lions to burn every ounce of strength. But lions can't maintain that pace for long. If the prey is fast enough or stubborn enough, they live. Sometimes they even fight back. A 500-pound wildebeest with 30-inch horns can gore a lion. A zebra's hind kick can shatter ribs or crush a predator's skull. Cheetahs, meanwhile, are nightmares for the smaller Thompson's gazelles. At 60 to 70 miles per hour, their short, blistering sprints leave little chance of escape. But gazelles are clever. They dart in zigzags, swerving unpredictably to throw off their pursuers. If they can hold out for just 20 or 30 seconds, the cheetah tires and gives up the chase. By May and June, the herds face one of their deadliest obstacles, the Grumeti River. It may not be as wide as the Mara, but it is no less lethal. On the far side lies green pasture and life, but in the murky depths lurks death, the Nile crocodile. Giants up to 20 feet long, with bone-crushing bites exceeding 3,700 psi, lie in wait. A single snap can drag down a full-grown zebra without a trace. When tens of thousands surge into the narrow waters, chaos erupts. White foam explodes. Terrified cries echo, and the river becomes a frenzy of panic. Some stumble and drown. Others are seized and pulled under by the prehistoric killers. Yet those who make it across earn their reward, the promise of grass, water, and survival. Scattered across the western corridor and the Koga-Tenda region, the air grows heavy with an unseen tension. The migration is no longer a solid wall of millions, but scattered into smaller, looser groups. And in that fragmentation, predators find their chance. The lions, the crownless kings of the savannah, wait for this moment. They exploit the fatigue and chaos of the mating season, when dominant males are drained from constantly defending their territories and mates. In these moments, power becomes a burden, and the very leaders of the pride turn into vulnerable targets for sudden ambush. Along the Grumeti River and in the rugged Singida region, lions turn the land itself into a weapon. Dense thickets, broken riverbanks, and sparse riverine woodland become natural fortresses. Lionesses lie hidden in silence, waiting for weary animals to step toward the water. Then, in an instant, they burst forth like lightning, locking prey in a deadly pounce. But lions aren't the only threat. In the shadows, another predator prowls. The leopard, a solitary assassin and master of stealth. Blending seamlessly into the Serengeti's patchy forests and tangled undergrowth, its rosettes vanish into the vegetation. A leopard can wait motionless for hours, poised for the moment a young zebra or a Thompson's gazelle strays too far. During the mating season, when dominant males are consumed with fighting for territory, herds scatter more easily than ever. With rippling muscles and unrivaled climbing skill, they maneuver through rugged terrain, then launch from a tree or burst from tall grass in a flash attack. It's all over in seconds, before the herd even realizes what happened. Data from 2024 shows leopards succeed in 50 to 60% of these surprise strikes, a chilling reminder of their deadly efficiency. And then, carried on the wind, comes the eerie laughter of hyenas. If lions are organized warriors and leopards are solitary killers, hyenas are opportunistic marauders with terrifying pack strategy. Their clans are highly structured, each member with a role to play. When the herds splinter, the young, weak, and isolated become easy targets. Hyenas aren't just hunters, they're expert thieves. They trail lions and leopards, waiting until the kill is made but not yet eaten, then swarm in to overwhelm and steal the prize. Unlike big cats, who rely on swift precision, hyenas wage wars of attrition, circling, chasing, and wearing prey down until it collapses in exhaustion. August to October, the migration enters its most brutal chapter. Kogatende in northern Serengeti and Kenya's Masai Mara become the epicenter. Every day, millions of wildebeests, zebras, and gazelles converge on a single, deadly obstacle: the Mara River. This raging river stretches for miles, a natural wall dividing life from death. On the far side lies Masai Mara, a lush 1,500 square kilometer paradise where rain-fed grasses beckon the herds. But to reach it, they must brave the killers that wait below. Giant Nile crocodiles, up to 20 feet long, with a bone-crushing bite of 3,700 psi, lurk beneath the muddy surface. Each year, when the herds pour in, the river erupts into a blood-soaked feast. Yet the crocodiles aren't the only danger. The river itself is unpredictable. In years of heavy rain, sudden flash floods can sweep away hundreds in minutes. In drier years, low water makes crossings easier, but exposes the herds to more crocodile attacks, as they are forced to use shallow, ambush-prone channels. A 2024 Serengeti Institute study revealed a deadly trade-off. In flood years, drowning pushes mortality up by 10 to 20%. In drought years, drowning drops, but crocodile kills surge. Every leap into the river is a gamble with death. From July through October, Mara crossings happen daily at multiple points. Sometimes only a few dozen animals take the plunge. Other times, as many as 10,000 surge into the water at once, shattering the river in an explosion of foam. Screams echo across the valley, hooves thunder against the current, and crocodiles strike from the depths. It is both magnificent and horrifying. A red ocean at the heart of the savannah. Strangely, the herds often change their minds in an instant. They may cross, only to turn back, as though the river exerts a hypnotic pull, forcing them to test the boundary between life and death again and again. And predators don't wait in the water alone. On the banks, lions and hyenas lie in ambush, ready to snatch the stragglers, the exhausted, the unlucky. The crossing is more than a physical test. It is total war, where every animal must stake its life just to move forward. Those that survive step onto the far bank, into the Masai Mara. This fertile land, an extension of the Serengeti, unfolds in rolling grasslands, river valleys, and scattered woodland. Heavy annual rainfall, 30 to 50 inches, sustains a rich ecosystem, home to more than 95 mammal species and 570 bird species. But Masai Mara is no safe haven. It is both paradise and battleground. The abundance of prey fuels a thriving predator population. The legendary Big Five, lion, leopard, elephant, buffalo, and rhinoceros, all roam here. And at the top of it all, the lions. In prides like the famed Marsh Pride, they dominate the land, exploiting the herd's arrival to feast. Small prey may fall to a single lioness, but larger quarry, buffalo, or even young elephants, demand a coordinated strike by the whole pride. Masai Mara thus becomes a stage for some of the most spectacular hunts on Earth, where entire prides hurl themselves at prey weighing tons, while thousands of wildebeests and zebras continue their endless march, knowing that tomorrow will bring another battle. As dusk settles over the grasslands, the Masai Mara sheds its skin. Honey gold fades to a deep indigo sea. This is when the lions take the throne. Their eyes, cold twin stars, slice through the dark. Hunting success soars when night becomes an ally. After days on the move, wildebeests and zebras are spent. One wrong turn, one ragged breath, and the herd's formation breaks. Lions aren't just hunters. They're the guardians of ecological order. When lion numbers rise, pressure on grazers rises with them. The grasslands aren't shaved to the root. They get time to recover and sprout anew. Paradoxically, a lion's fangs act like a comb that keeps the entire ecosystem smooth. A healthy mara depends on that balance. Plenty of prey, but never beyond what the plains can heal. At the woodland edge and along the riverbanks, leopards glide like ghosts, masters of absence. The less seen, the more they win. They live alone, quietly measuring distance, wind, and a prey's breathing. The mara's varied vegetation grants them 1,000 curtains, tall grass, thorny acacias, and brooding rock outcrops. A leopard's menu is a nimble symphony, rabbits and birds to impala and gazelles. They creep, then burst, finishing in a single beat. Night hunts ease daytime pressure on prey, and, indirectly, help pace the grass's recovery. With a success rate around 38%, leopards rank among the savannah's most efficient killers. Not as loud as lions, not as dazzling as cheetahs, but tireless, precise, never wasting a move. African savanna elephants are the bold ink strokes across the mara's page. Adult bulls stand 10 to 13 feet at the shoulder and weigh up to about 13,000 pounds. Females are lighter, but both carry memories as deep as a flood-swollen river. Ancestral trails, secret waterholes, grasslands reborn, passed down like living maps. Elephants are the architects of the savanna. They topple shrubs, opening skylights that let new grass surge. They dig for water in drought, leaving little wells for countless creatures to drink. They consume roughly 300 pounds of vegetation a day. Large, yes, but in return they rezone the habitat. Space for impalas, gazelles, and hares, corridors for small herds, and clear lanes for predator chases. Stand in the wind-swept Mara night, and you might feel the sky settle onto an elephant's broad back. Nature writing its stories in slow, steady steps. Buffalo are a manifesto by contrast. Curved horns, a helmet-thick boss, a moving fortress. Bulls weigh 1,000 to 2,000 pounds, stand 4 to 5 feet at the shoulder, and wear a steel-cold herd spirit across their brows. They travel in blocks of up to 500, a foe even lions must weigh carefully. In danger, the herd counterattacks, turning, opening a path, shielding calves. Field studies suggest lion success against large buffalo herds is only about 10 to 15%. Not because lions are weaker, but because buffalo solidarity turns individuals into lynx and the herd into a hammer. Within the Big Five, rhinos are the somber chapter that must be retold. In the Mara, black rhinos, smaller, wary, sometimes volatile, and white rhinos, larger, more common farther south. Both leave their prints on the grass. The black rhino, 1,800 to 3,000 pounds, with horns up to 5 feet, carries a cruel fate. The stronger it stands, the bigger the target it becomes. An estimated 30 to 40 black rhinos in the Mara is an alarm bell. Poaching and the black market turn a horn, just a body part, into the excuse for tragedy. And so, on moonless nights, patrol teams head out once more. Every step is a vow. Without rhinos, the Big Five is broken, and the Mara loses a piece of its soul. From July to October, the grasslands change their tone. The Great Migration pours over the Mara River like a storm of bone and flesh. Daily crossings erupt, sometimes a few dozen animals, sometimes 10,000, hurling themselves into the current. The banks drum like war. Below, Nile crocodiles hold their breath. Above, lions and hyenas crouch. It's brutal, and yet it renews the system. Mass grazing kickstarts fresh growth. Pounding hooves spread seed and till the soil. Dung enriches it all, drawing insects and birds, which in turn feed smaller predators.
Where the jaguar strikes from the shadows with unparalleled force, the sloth stands in stark contrast. It has no sharp claws for attack. It has no speed to flee. It has no strength to fight. While other creatures wage an endless war between life and death, the sloth moves like a slow current of time itself, step by step, never in a hurry, never in distress. It clings to the highest branches, where few can reach. Its thick fur is not just a shield, but a camouflage, blending it seamlessly into nature's embrace. No urgency, no urgency, no worry, no fear. While predators fight endlessly to survive, the sloth simply lives. As God intended, God did not create the sloth to be the strongest, but He granted it something extraordinary. The perfect adaptation to a slower rhythm of life. It survives on a diet of nutrient-poor leaves. But the sloth has learned patience, digesting slowly, absorbing every ounce of sustenance with unmatched efficiency. Its heart beats 1/3 the speed of a human's. It can go days, even weeks without food, and still remain healthy. It does not need much to exist, because God has granted it a peace that no other creature in the Amazon possesses. In a world where survival depends on speed and strength, the sloth moves as if untouched by the urgency of life. Each day, it may travel only a few meters. Each week, it may shift to a new tree. And throughout its life, it simply drifts, slowly, peacefully, like a silent monk in the heart of the jungle. But do not mistake slowness for weakness. The sloth does not run because it does not need to run. It does not fight because it does not need to fight. It exists exactly as God designed it, slow, untroubled, yet undefeated, because it knows that God created it for a different kind of life. As dawn breaks over the treetops, while the green anaconda still coils beneath the murky waters and the jaguar waits in the shadows for its prey, a sound echoes from the highest branches. It is not a roar of dominance. It is not the chilling hiss of a predator. It is a bright, crystal-clear call, a voice that awakens the jungle from the dark slumber of the night. This call is more than just the herald of morning. It is a reminder that amid the brutal reality of nature, God has preserved something pure, a song of life that continues to play, no matter how deep the darkness may be. The toucan does not have sharp fangs to tear apart its prey. It does not have powerful claws to bring down its enemies. But God did not create it for battle. Instead, He gave it a different weapon, brilliance and song, a symbol of joy amidst the somber tones of the Amazon. No creature in the rainforest rivals the toucan's plumage. Its enormous beak is like a masterpiece of nature, painted in the vibrant hues of a sunset, an artwork that only God could create. Though it appears heavy, it is surprisingly light, a testament to nature's delicate craftsmanship. But its colors are not merely for beauty. They are a declaration of life itself, a statement that even in a world where survival is a relentless struggle between life and death, there is still a place for joy. The toucan lives high in the trees, where it surveys the world below with calm detachment. It does not rush. It does not scramble. It moves effortlessly through the branches, basking in the sunlight. And when it wishes, it simply spreads its wings and soars, a streak of color gliding across the sky. Its diet reflects the very essence of its existence. It is not a predator. It does not seek the thrill of the chase. Instead, it enjoys the simple pleasure of feasting on ripe fruit from the treetops. It is the silent sower of the Amazon, dispersing seeds across the rainforest, ensuring its continued growth. Without fangs, without brute force, simply by existing, the toucan plays an irreplaceable role in the grand design of God's creation. Yet even the most radiant creatures have their enemies. Jaguars, green anacondas, harpy eagles all see the toucan as a potential meal. But God has not left it defenseless. He gave it agile wings, the ability to dart between branches in an instant, and eyes that are always alert. It is not strong, but it is swift. It is not fierce, but it is wise. And with its sharp instincts, it survives in a jungle where danger lurks from the treetops to the forest. In the great symphony of the Amazon, every creature is a note. The jaguar is the pounding drum, the crocodile the deep, rumbling bass, the anaconda the slow, creeping undertone of silent death. But the toucan, it is the flute, light, free, and untamed. Its call does not threaten, does not signal terror. It simply sings the melody of life. When it calls, the jungle brightens, as if reminding all who dwell within that even in a land ruled by deadly predators, there is still space for beauty, for vibrance, for a creature that does not need to fight to exist. And as the sun sets beyond the treetops and darkness begins to creep in once more, the toucan's call rings out again, as if singing of the wonder of this world, of its own presence in the perfect masterpiece that God has painted. Beneath the dense canopy of the Amazon, where rivers rush and shadows stretch across the forest floor, a song rises as night falls. It is not the growl of the jaguar, nor the hiss of the green anaconda, nor the splash of the crocodile. It is a delicate yet unmistakable melody, a song that does not belong to predator or prey, but to a masterful artist placed by God to weave beauty into the grand symphony of the Amazon. The frog. The frogs of the Amazon have no claws to hunt, no thick hides to shield them from danger, no brute strength to overpower other creatures. But God did not create them for battle. He created them to sing, to keep the Amazon alive with its own rhythm, a melody that never ceases in the embrace of nature. As the last golden rays of the sun filter through the trees, as twilight fades beyond the horizon, the tiny musicians begin their performance. Each note shimmers in the air, blending with the rustling leaves, the murmur of flowing water, the buzzing of insects. It is not a meaningless tune. It is the signal of life, a reminder that the Amazon is not only ruthless, but also graceful, not only a battleground, but also a sanctuary of peace. God has gifted the Amazon's frogs not with power, but with survival through adaptation and artistry. Their skin is more than just a shield. It is a masterpiece painted by God in brilliant hues. Electric blue, fiery orange, vivid red, radiant yellow. Each frog wears a unique design that no other creature can replicate. But these colors are not merely for beauty. They are a warning. Some frogs carry deadly toxins within their skin, a message to any would-be predator that they are no easy meal. those who foolishly test their luck suffer the consequences, for God has equipped these tiny beings with a defense as elegant as it is lethal, a perfect balance of danger and beauty. Yet, not all Amazonian frogs flaunt vibrant colors. Some choose invisibility. Cloaked in earthy browns and leafy greens, they vanish into the forest, melting into bark and foliage like ghosts. They do not need venom to survive. Instead, they wield the art of concealment, an intricate gift from God that allows them to slip unseen through a world full of threats. But whether hidden or radiant, whether small or carrying the touch of death, all Amazonian frogs share one unbreakable bond. They are the tireless musicians of the rainforest, the devoted performers in nature's grand orchestra. Each species has its own voice, its own rhythm, its own irreplaceable part in the endless song of the jungle. Some hum deep, resonant tones, while others produce sharp, metallic chirps. Some whisper delicate notes, heard only in the hush of the night. And if one day you find yourself lost in the depths of the Amazon, pause for a moment. Close your eyes. Listen. Somewhere, hidden in the shadows, beneath the damp leaves and tangled branches, God's musicians still sing. A song without end, a symphony that never fades, a reminder that no matter how the world changes, no matter how long the strong may reign, there will always be small creatures who continue to sing. There will always be music in the rainforest, and as long as they keep singing, the Amazon will continue to live. The parrot, a bird that God did not create to be concealed, but to call out boldly, to soar across the rainforest sky like a declaration of life itself. In the grand symphony of the Amazon, where predators melt into the shadows and others wait quietly for the dawn, the parrot is the voice that shatters the silence, proclaiming that light still reigns over the vast wilderness. God did not create the parrot to hide like the three-toed sloth, nor to flee like the smaller creatures, nor to bring death like the jaguar or crocodile. Instead, he gifted it with wings strong enough to conquer the skies, feathers painted in radiant hues that streak across the green canopy like a living rainbow, and a voice so loud and commanding that it fills the forest with the unmistakable sound of life. As the first rays of sunlight pierce through the mist, as golden light filters through the dense foliage, the parrots are the first to break the morning silence. No other creature's call is like theirs, sharp, resounding, as if awakening the entire rainforest from its deep slumber. It is more than just sound. It is a celebration of a new day, a hymn of freedom, a burst of laughter in a world ruled by survival and instinct. Parrots do not shy away from being seen. They move in flocks, streaks of red, green, yellow, and blue dancing across the sky like brushstrokes on nature's greatest canvas. No other bird can match their majesty, each feather shimmering as if God himself painted them with sunlight and fire. When a flock of parrots takes flight, the sky transforms into a living masterpiece, painted with the boldest colors of creation. But parrots are not just beautiful. They are also among the most intelligent birds in the world. God did not only give them powerful wings, he gave them wisdom, an ability few other creatures possess. They learn, they mimic, they remember every sound, every call of the jungle. They do not simply sing, they speak. They do not simply listen, they answer. No other being in the Amazon interacts with nature quite like the parrot, a creature that converses with the rainforest, turning the sounds around it into a language of its own. Parrots do not fear predators, for they possess something no hunter can take away: unity. They do not live alone, do not face the darkness and solitude. They fly together, calling to one another with cries that announce their presence to the entire jungle. If a predator lurks within the canopy, the parrots will know. They will sound the alarm, breaking the silence with their calls, stripping the hunter of its greatest advantage, secrecy. Yet, God did not create the parrot only to live in peace. Despite their speed, intelligence, and loyalty to one another, they still face a far greater enemy: humans. Greedy hands seek to steal their colors, to capture what was meant to be free, to lock them in cages where wings meant for the sky are reduced to mere decoration. But even in captivity, even when torn from the Amazon, their voices never fade. They do not fall silent. They do not surrender. They never lose their essence. They continue to call out, to sing, to cry for the freedom that was always theirs. In the great symphony of the Amazon, where the crocodile is the booming drum, where the jaguar is the commanding trumpet, where the anaconda is the deep, silent bass, the parrot is the blazing fanfare of trumpets, a sound no one can ignore, a melody that cannot be silenced. It is not just the voice of nature, but the echo of the jungle's soul, a proclamation of life, joy, and the boundless spirit of flight that God has placed within them. And if one day you stand within the heart of the Amazon, listen. Amidst the rustling leaves, beneath the wild, chaotic heartbeat of the jungle, you will hear a call, strong, vibrant, and fearless. It is the voice of the parrot, a creature that God created to bring joy, color, and freedom into this world. No matter how many centuries pass, no matter how the jungle changes, its call will always be there, ringing through the rainforest like a sacred reminder that freedom is the most precious gift God has given to all living beings. Beneath the dense canopy of the Amazon rainforest, where rivers weave like flowing silk, it is not the roar of a predator, nor the desperate cries of prey, but a reverberating knock, measured and deliberate, against the wood, as if God himself were keeping time for the great symphony of the Amazon. In this world, God placed an artisan, a creature that does not hunt in silence, nor does it flee from darkness, but instead melds into the forest through its rhythm. The woodpecker, a being created not to cower, not to run, but to hammer out the pulse of the wilderness, an unwavering craftsman, an eternal conductor guiding the flow of life. God did not grant it the sweet melodies of the parrots, nor the speed and precision of airborne hunters. Instead, he gave it a different gift: powerful wings, an unbreakable beak, and an indomitable instinct to seek, discover, create, and carve new beginnings from the very heart of the Amazon's ancient trees. Amidst the stillness of the jungle, while others rest, the woodpecker raises its voice, not in song, not in calls, but in relentless, unwavering knocks against the bark. Each strike a reminder that life endures, that the Amazon breathes, that even within decaying trunks, miracles unfold. But it does not knock merely to make noise. It knocks to unlock life itself. Its strikes do not destroy, but resurrect. They do not waste, but reveal the hidden wonders within nature's hardened shell. Beneath each layer of bark, concealed insects stir, tiny creatures that have never seen the light of day. And when the woodpecker finds them, it does more than feed itself. It opens new doorways for countless others in the Amazon. The tiny holes it leaves behind are not mere marks. They are gateways to new life. Wild bees find refuge and build hives within them. Moths escape from lurking predators, and smaller birds turn them into safe havens. A rotting tree may seem like a sign of decay, but wherever the woodpecker's beak lands, the old is reborn, and the forest cycle begins anew. No one can hear the heartbeat of the Amazon, but the woodpecker can. And through its steady rhythm, it becomes God's own hand, knocking the eternal pulse of the jungle. God did not send the woodpecker alone into this world. He gave it a resilient body, a beak as strong as steel, capable of hammering hundreds of times per second without injury. He gave it a long, flexible tongue reaching deep into the wood to extract prey that no other creature can touch. He gave it powerful legs and razor-sharp claws, gripping the trees like a relentless craftsman, never wavering, never tiring. But above all, he gifted it with persistence, a rare virtue in a world that constantly rushes forward. While the jaguar stalks in patience, while the caiman waits in stillness, the woodpecker knocks, unceasing, untiring, a reminder to the forest that even the smallest actions can create the grandest changes. In the flowing rivers of the Amazon, where jaguars prowl in the shadows, where green anacondas lurk beneath the water's surface, where crocodiles wait in silent anticipation, there exists a creature that does not fight, does not hunt, and does not rush. God placed it in the Amazon not to conquer, not to dominate, but to preserve the balance of life, to ensure that this great jungle is not merely a battleground for survival, but a masterpiece of harmony. The Amazon turtle does not race through the currents, nor does it claim territory through force. It does not need sharp fangs or powerful claws to endure. Instead, God granted it something far greater: patience, tranquility, and a lifespan long enough to witness entire generations of creatures rise and fall within the rainforest's endless cycle of life. Its hardened shell is not just a shield, but a symbol of eternity, a silent witness to the ceaseless flow of time. It is not as swift as the crocodile, not as mysterious as the anaconda, nor as agile as the jaguar. Yet, while predators wage their endless battles for dominance, the turtle survives in its own way, slowly, yet never stopping, fragile, yet never broken. Each time the sun rises over the river, turtles climb onto rocks and fallen logs to bask in the golden warmth. They do not fear, nor do they hide. They simply exist, absorbing the light that God has bestowed upon them, as if the entire rainforest pauses for a moment to admire their peaceful presence. No other creature in the Amazon brings such a profound sense of serenity as the turtles do. But turtles are more than just silent observers of the river's rhythm. God has given them a sacred duty, one that ensures the cycle of life continues. As the waters rise, reaching the soft, golden shores of the riverbanks, turtles return to fulfill their purpose. They do not rush, nor do they seek attention. They dig patiently, carving cradles of sand to hold the fragile eggs that will become the future of the Amazon. Then, as quietly as they arrived, they slip back into the river, leaving behind a legacy that will soon awaken to life. And when the eggs hatch, the newborn turtles face their first and greatest challenge. Crocodiles, predatory birds, and large fish lie in wait, ready to seize the tiny hatchlings before they reach the safety of the water. Many will not survive. Yet, despite overwhelming odds, the young turtles do not hesitate. They push forward, driven by an instinct greater than fear, an unshakable will to endure. God has placed within them the spirit of resilience, a refusal to surrender, no matter how cruel the world may be. Turtles are not just part of the Amazon's ecosystem. They are its silent architects, shaping the river's story with their quiet persistence. When, An aged turtle glides through the water when the sunset reflects off its ancient shell, when it rests upon the sand like a living stone of nature. The Amazon seems to soften, to slow, to breathe in harmony with its presence. Without turtles, the Amazon would be nothing but an arena of survival. With them, it is a place of balance, resilience, and a rhythm that cannot be replaced. God did not create turtles to be the strongest, nor to be rulers. He created them to remind the world that beauty is not found only in speed or power, but in stillness, in adaptation, in the quiet endurance of time itself. Amidst the roars, the lightning-fast strikes, the crushing coils of death, there remains one creature that moves gently, lives humbly, and enriches the Amazon in its own silent way. And if one day you stand beside the Amazon River, pause for a moment. Listen to the flowing water, to the wind whispering through the trees. Look upon the surface of the river where a glimmering shell catches the sunlight. That is the turtle, a guardian of life, a keeper of harmony, a timeless presence in a world that never stops moving. And then, when God created the Amazon, He did not simply paint a vast rainforest where rivers flowed like lifeblood through the wilderness, where mist rose from the dense canopy like the breath of the earth itself. He did not merely pour into it the endless green of the leaves, the blazing red of the macaws, or the golden shimmer of the setting sun reflected on the river's surface. He created the Amazon to be the kingdom of the greatest predators, a place where only the strongest survive, not just to exist, but to shape the very fabric of this magnificent ecosystem. From the shadows of towering trees, the jaguar moves like a god of death. No one sees it, no one hears it. Only a silent specter glides through the undergrowth, its piercing eyes locked onto every breath of its prey. And then, in a single heartbeat, the storm breaks, a perfect strike, a crushing bite more powerful than any other big cat on Earth, piercing the skull of its victim before it even realizes what has happened. The jaguar is not just a predator, it is the executioner, the unseen hand of God within the jungle, a flawless embodiment of silent, merciless precision. Beneath the water's surface, in the murky depths of the Amazon's rivers, the green anaconda does not chase, nor does it rush. It waits, as still as the shadows themselves, vanishing into the darkness of the current. And when the fateful moment arrives, it explodes from the water, coiling around its victim like a living hurricane, crushing every breath, every pulse, every last flicker of resistance in a grip that cannot be undone. God did not create the anaconda to hunt in haste. He made it a reminder that even in stillness, death is always lurking. And in the silent marshes, the black caiman, a phantom of the Amazon's dark waters, lies motionless, indistinguishable from a floating log. Nothing detects its presence. Nothing foresees the moment it will lunge from the depths, its jaws capable of crushing steel, locking its prey in a death grip stronger than any force in the animal kingdom. It does not need a second chance. One strike, and all is lost beneath the waves. God did not create it to rule alone, but to maintain the balance, to cull the weak from the ecosystem. But the Amazon is not only ruled by predators of the land and water. In the skies above, the harpy eagle circles under the golden sun, God's blade carried on wings of power. Its gaze, sharper than any blade, locks onto its prey far below. And when it descends, nothing can stop it. Talons longer than a bear's claws, strength enough to lift a fully grown monkey into the air as effortlessly as a fallen leaf. The harpy eagle does not hunt out of mere instinct. It hunts as an artist, a warrior gifted by God with the wings of a ruler. Yet, amidst all these beings crafted for the hunt, God also placed creatures that do not need to kill, do not need weapons, yet live with pride and purpose. The macaw, with its radiant feathers, never hides from the world, but instead celebrates the life that God has given it. The three-toed sloth, moving at the pace of time itself, remains untouched by the urgency of survival, an emblem of tranquility in a world of chaos. The Amazon turtle, carrying on its back the wisdom of centuries, proves that true strength does not always lie in speed or ferocity, but in endurance and patience. God did not create the Amazon to be merely a forest. He did not fill it with nameless creatures, nor allow it to be swallowed by meaningless death. He made it a grand symphony of life and death, an arena where the strongest do not merely prevail, but uphold the delicate order of nature itself. If the caiman is the deep, rumbling drum, if the anaconda is the haunting cello, if the jaguar is the sharp cry of the trumpet, then the macaw is the brilliant high note, the woodpecker the steady rhythm, and the sloth the necessary silence that binds them all together. No creature is without purpose. No being exists without meaning. God placed every link in its perfect position so that the Amazon would not be a land of mere survival, but a kingdom of eternal balance and breathtaking beauty. And if one day you stand in the heart of the Amazon, close your eyes and listen. You will hear the rhythmic tapping of the woodpecker, the joyous laughter of the macaws, the gentle ripples of water where the caiman waits. You will feel the presence of unseen hunters, the piercing eyes watching, the silent forces moving within the jungle's depths. And when you open your eyes, you will see shadows gliding through the trees, wings cutting across the sky, the magnificent beings that God placed here to remind the world that the Amazon is not just a forest. It is the kingdom of Earth's greatest predators, a masterpiece of life itself, unmatched anywhere else on this planet.
Sheer physical presence. Height 26 to 32 inches at the shoulder. Weight 100 pound 130 palms males, 80 110 patons females. Thick double-layered fur allows them to endure brutal temperatures as low as 40 degrees. A striking 45–50% of Yellowstone's wolves sport black coats, a rare genetic inheritance from ancient interbreeding with domestic dogs. Black fur is not just a symbol of mystery, it also offers a survival advantage. Studies suggest that the black coat gene may provide resistance to certain diseases, particularly canine distemper virus, one of the deadliest biological threats to wolves. Wolves do not live alone. They are disciplined warriors bound by the structure of the pack. Each pack consists of 4 to 15 members, led by an alpha pair, the undisputed king and queen. Packs do not just hunt together, they fiercely defend their vast territories, ranging from 50 to 1,000 square miles. The size of their domain depends on food availability and competition. When prey is abundant, packs claim smaller, well-guarded territories. In leaner times, they expand their range, engaging in brutal battles with rival packs to survive. Yellowstone is not just a place, it is a living story, a grand stage, where the grey wolf continues to write the epic saga of the wild. From the icy tundras of the past to battles against humanity and their miraculous resurgence, These wolves have proven that they are more than just predators. They are the very soul of Yellowstone, and their howls, echoing through the mighty mountains, will never fade into silence. In the frozen kingdom of Yellowstone, where nature tests every creature with its unforgiving wrath, one giant stands tall, a fearless warrior of the wild, the moose. Amid the snow-covered forests, its deep, resonant grunts echo like a proclamation of strength and pride. Scientifically known as Altis altis, the moose is not only the tallest and largest member of the deer family, but also one of the greatest surviving relics of the Ice Age. A living testament to endurance, it plays a silent yet vital role in maintaining the delicate balance of Yellowstone's ecosystem. Its sheer size alone makes the moose a towering monument of nature. Height, 6 to 7 feet at the shoulder. Weight, 900 to 1,600 pounds, males, 800, 1,300 pounds, females. But what truly elevates the moose to legendary status is its colossal antlers, a crown of dominance stretching up to 6 feet across, a symbol of unparalleled power. When the mating season arrives, the forests become a natural battlefield, where the thunderous clash of antlers rings out like war drums announcing battle. Winter in Yellowstone spares no one, as piercing winds howl through the valleys and the land is entombed in ice. The moose endures, standing firm against nature's cruelty with its thick, armor-like coat. Outer layer, coarse, dense fur acting as a shield against the cutting wind. Inner layer, soft, insulating wool that traps body heat, keeping it warm even at 40 degrees. But even with this natural protection, winter remains a battle for survival. When snowfall blankets the land in an endless sea of white, food becomes a buried treasure, hidden beneath layers of ice. Moose are forced to migrate for hundreds of miles, seeking areas with thinner snow where life still clings on. Not all will survive the journey. Despite their immense strength and size, moose are not alone on the battlefield of the wild. They are prime targets for the North American grey wolf, a predator known for its intelligence, patience, and pack strategy. A full-grown moose, armed with antlers like mythic blades and legs as sturdy as steel columns, can crush a wolf with a single devastating kick. But wolves do not hunt alone. They work as a team, stalking, exhausting, and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The young, the weak, and those weary from the harsh winter become their primary targets. The chase between a wolf pack and a moose is a deadly ballet of nature. The pursuit stretches for miles, from the frozen plains to the dense forests. When cornered, a moose will turn and fight, each antler thrust a lethal weapon, each thunderous kick a force to be reckoned with. But if the wolves are too many, the tide of battle shifts. Through the trials of nature, through the relentless cycle of life and death, the moose continues to stride forward, an indomitable warrior. It is not just a creature of Yellowstone, it is its very essence, its pulse, its lifeblood. With every step imprinted on the frozen earth, with every deep, guttural call reverberating through the ancient forest, the moose writes another chapter in its story, a wild epic where life is more than survival. It is a bold declaration of nature's raw and untamed power. Upon the towering mountains where ancient forests stretch endlessly, where icy rivers carve through vast, untamed plains, God placed the grizzly bear at the heart of Yellowstone, an eternal testament to absolute power. Each step it takes resounds like the echoes of time, its curved claws razor-sharp, forged by the fire of nature itself. The grizzly is not merely a wild beast, it is the embodiment of will, dominance, and an unshakable reign. With a back as broad as a stone fortress and colossal limbs capable of crushing any who dare to challenge it, the grizzly does not merely survive, it rules. But brute strength alone does not make a ruler. God did not create the grizzly as a mindless force of destruction. He bestowed upon it the cold intellect of a master predator. In its deep brown eyes lies not just the untamed wild, but a terrifying precision. Every step is a calculated move, every strike a ruthless verdict decreed by nature itself. As spring returns to Yellowstone, the snow melts and rivers surge with life, carrying salmon back to their spawning grounds. The grizzly bear needs no bow, no trap, only the blessed hands given by God. With a mighty swipe, its claws plunge into the frigid waters, lifting writhing fish from the currents. One strike, one roar, and the feast begins. When summer arrives, the meadows flourish, and moose and deer graze in peace. But in the shadows of the ancient forest, the grizzly watches. It does not chase blindly like the cheetah. It waits, it calculates. It strikes when the moment is perfect. A lone calf separated from its herd. An old stag too weak to flee. One powerful charge, one thunderous bite, and fate is sealed. But God did not create the grizzly merely to hunt. He made it a conqueror. When the grey wolves, the most strategic predators of the wild, bring down their prey after a long and calculated hunt, they believe they have earned their reward. But the darkness in the forest stirs. A colossal figure emerges under the fading sunlight. The grizzly does not need to ambush. It does not need to hide. It only needs to step forward. A single earth-shattering roar cleaves through the air. The piercing eyes of the wolves flicker with hesitation. Faced with a living tempest of raw power, they must make a choice. Stand their ground and risk everything, or surrender to a force even nature itself respects. At times, the wolves gather, circling the grizzly, their teeth bared, growls echoing through the dim forest. But the giant stands unshaken, a monument carved by the hands of the Creator himself. With a single swipe of its massive paw, a wolf can be sent flying, bones shattering, life extinguished in an instant. And so 3 out of 10 times the wolves abandon their kill, because in the law of the wild, the strongest always reigns. But God did not grant the grizzly bear its strength merely for destruction. It was given to protect and sustain balance. When the grizzly digs for roots and tubers in the fall, the remnants of its meals enrich the forest floor, nourishing the land. As it roams along rivers, its thick fur carries seeds from place to place, sowing life with every step. And when winter blankets Yellowstone in an endless sea of white, the grizzly retreats into the depths of its den, surrendering to a silent slumber. No hunting, no conflict, no struggle, only sleep like a god watching over the world. allowing nature to move as it was destined to by the hands of the Creator, not the fastest, not the strongest, but the most majestic. No weapons, no allies, only itself. A living wonder placed upon Yellowstone by the divine. A reminder that true power in nature is not just in claws and fangs, but in the balance that every creature was given. And so in the heart of this vast and untamed wilderness, beneath the towering forests and snow-capped peaks, the grizzly still roams, still roars, still reigns, an eternal creation of God.
Above the wild skies of Yellowstone, where snow-capped peaks stretch toward the heavens, where shimmering rivers carve their way through endless green forests, God placed the bald eagle, a living embodiment of power, freedom, and absolute majesty. With colossal wings spread like sails catching the winds of the divine, with piercing eyes that see through the water's surface from miles away, and with talons as sharp as the blades of fate, the bald eagle is more than a bird. It is pure sovereignty, an immortal symbol of the North American sky. Since the beginning of time, God has granted this bird dominion over the skies, not because it is the fastest nor the largest, but because it possesses the flawless design of a supreme predator. Its eyes can spot a fish swimming beneath the water from hundreds of feet in the air. Its talons, when clenched, exert a grip 10 times stronger than a human fighter's. When the bald eagle locks onto its target, it does not hesitate. It does not falter. There is only speed, precision, and an inescapable fate. From high above, it watches, patient as a celestial judge. Then, with a single beat of its mighty wings, it dives like a heavenly arrow, piercing through the clouds, ripping through the sky at over 100 miles per hour. 100 miles per hour, 160 kilometers per h. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3, and its talons clamp down, lifting the prey from the water, carrying it to the heavens of a true ruler. But God did not gift the bald eagle with strength only for the hunt. He bestowed upon it an unyielding pride. It does not merely hunt, it claims dominion. Along the great rivers and vast lakes of Yellowstone, no creature dares challenge its rule. If a great horned owl or a falcon dares to trespass, a skybound battle erupts, an aerial storm of talons and feathers. With mighty wings that cleave through the wind and razor-sharp strikes as swift as silver swords, the bald eagle defends its kingdom with the divine authority granted by God Himself. To witness a bald eagle soaring through the sky is more than simply watching a bird of prey. It is to see the very soul of North America, to feel the breath of freedom itself. For centuries, Native Americans have revered the bald eagle as a messenger of the divine. Its feathers are sacred symbols of courage, strength, and honor. When a warrior proved his valor, he did not receive a medal. He received an eagle feather, a mark of unwavering loyalty and resilience. When the founding fathers of the United States sought a worthy emblem for their new nation, they did not choose the lion, nor the bear, nor the serpent. They chose the bald eagle, because no creature on earth embodies the spirit of liberty and power as it does. But God did not gift the bald eagle with strength alone. He he blessed it with a heart of unwavering devotion. When a bald eagle chooses a mate, it is not a fleeting choice. It does not wander. It does not waver. It commits for life. Each year, as the snows melt and Yellowstone awakens with the first touch of sunlight, mated pairs reunite, returning to the same nest they built together. They do not merely live together. They strengthen and expand their home, branch by branch, feather, fragment by fragment of time itself. Their love is not just a bond, it is the foundation of a new generation. When the eggs hatch, when the young eaglets open their eyes to the world for the first time, they do not just see light. They see family, they see legacy. They see the mission etched into every beat of the wings they will one day inherit. But the bald eagle is not merely a symbol, nor just a predator. It is a guardian of the balance that God ordained. By preying on fish and weaker animals, it maintains the harmony of Yellowstone's rivers and lakes. Without it, fish populations could spiral out of control, disrupting the fragile ecosystem. Even in its most primal instincts, hunting, living, thriving, the bald eagle serves as nature's steward, an unseen hand ensuring equilibrium between land, water, and sky. And when a bald eagle dies, when its body returns to the earth, it still leaves behind an immortal legacy. The remains in its nest, fish bones, scattered feathers, fragments of past hunts, nourish the soil, feeding the trees, continuing the eternal cycle of life. In the dense forests where towering trees intertwine into natural arches, where the moon casts silver shadows upon the snow-covered earth, God placed the lynx in Yellowstone, a quiet predator, a phantom of the wild. It does not possess the thunderous roar of the gray wolf, nor the colossal frame of the grizzly bear. Instead, the lynx wields a weapon few creatures can match: absolute silence. Beneath its thick winter coat, beneath those piercing golden eyes that burn like torches in the night, the lynx is the embodiment of precision and ruthless efficiency in the art of the hunt. God did not create the lynx to rival the speed of the cheetah, nor did he grant it the raw power of the grizzly. Instead, he gifted it something else: the patience of a hunter in the shadows, the silence of the midnight wind, the precision of a blade that ends all struggles. No haste, no display of power. The lynx waits. Its tufted ears twitch at the faintest whisper of the wind, every strand of fur sensing the world around it. A snowshoe hare strays too far into the tall grass. One heartbeat, one perfect leap, a motion as fluid as a sword slicing through the air. Razor-sharp claws pierce flesh, pinning the prey to the cold earth. No frantic chase, no blood-curdling roar, only silence. And the circle of life turns once more. God did not place the lynx in Yellowstone merely as a hunter. He wove it into the land's delicate balance. When the hare population surges, when voles and ground squirrels multiply unchecked, the lynx emerges like nature's unseen hand, restoring equilibrium before the landscape is stripped bare. With its quiet presence, the lynx protects the meadows, ensuring vegetation is not overgrazed, preserving food sources for other creatures in the web of life. It is neither a conqueror nor a destroyer that God entrusted to Yellowstone, a shadow warrior that God entrusted to Yellowstone, ensuring that its rhythms remain unbroken. As spring arrives, Yellowstone awakens with the songs of birds, the sight of bison calves galloping across the plains, and bear cubs witnessing sunlight for the first time. Yet, the lynx keeps its distance, watching from the depths of the ancient forest. Then winter arrives, smothering the land in a blanket of white. The hares now number in the thousands. Ground squirrels scurry for shelter. The lynx moves through the frozen wilderness, its thick fur fluffed like a royal cloak, its massive paws gliding effortlessly across deep snow where others would sink. In the frigid darkness, it hunts. Every step weightless, every leap precise. No one hears it. No one hears it. No one sees it. Only its tracks remain, fleeting imprints on the snow, a whispered memory of an unseen ruler. And so, through the long centuries of Yellowstone, the lynx endures, silent, unseen, yet ever faithful to its purpose, not for glory, not for power, but for the eternal balance of creation. God did not place the lynx in this world to be praised, but to become a part of nature's great symphony. Not the strongest, not the fastest, but the perfect phantom, a hunter even nature itself reveres in quiet respect. And so, though no one hears its roar, though no one witnesses its battles, the lynx remains, a silent specter of Yellowstone, a warrior placed upon this earth by God to guard the beating heart of the deep forest. Among the towering peaks, where the wind howls through sheer rock faces, where the golden light of the sun bathes the rugged slopes, God placed the bighorn sheep in Yellowstone, a conqueror of nature, a living monument to strength, endurance, and an unbreakable will. Unlike the fierce predators that roam the valleys below, the bighorn sheep is neither loud nor brutal. Yet, it stands as a master of adaptation, a creature sculpted for survival in places where even raging blizzards cannot claim dominion. With its majestic, curling horns, a crown of a true warrior, and its sure-footed hooves gripping the narrowest of ledges, the bighorn sheep does not merely endure. It rules a kingdom few dare to enter. God did not create the bighorn sheep to roam the grassy plains, nor did he place it within the dense forests. Instead, he set it upon the perilous cliffs, where a single misstep means certain death. But rather than succumbing to fear, the bighorn sheep thrives, mastering each jagged rock, each sheer precipice, each blade-thin ridge that others would never dare to tread. Its steps are as light as the wind, yet as firm as stone. Its hooves a divine gift, gripping onto surfaces so treacherous that even the most agile beasts would hesitate. When a winter storm sweeps across the mountains, when the cold tightens its grip upon Yellowstone, the bighorn sheep does not seek shelter, does not flee. It stands, as unshaken as the cliffs themselves, a testament to God's unyielding strength. Yet, even as the master of the cliffs, the bighorn sheep is not spared from the relentless trials of Yellowstone. As winter deepens and the land is swallowed by ice, food becomes scarce. It must climb higher, travel farther, searching for the last remaining patches of dry grass hidden among the frozen rocks. But nature's trials do not end there. God did not test the bighorn sheep with the elements alone. He set predators upon its path. The gray wolf, master of strategy, the grizzly, titan of the wilderness, and sometimes the mountain lion, the ghostly hunter of the cliffs. Yet, the bighorn sheep is no easy prey. When hunted, it does not flee in blind panic. It climbs higher and higher beyond the reach of those who pursue it, to ledges so steep and narrow that no predator can follow. And if cornered, it fights. With horns curled like nature's scythes, it charges, delivering bone-shattering blows capable of felling a wolf in a single strike. One clash of its mighty head can send an attacker tumbling from the heights, a brutal warning that even the hunted can become the hunter. Though it lives in the most unforgiving of landscapes, the bighorn sheep never bows to hardship. From the moment it takes its first steps as a lamb, it learns the ways of the cliffs, forging itself through trials that few could endure. It is not born to be protected. It is born to stand alone, to leave its mark upon the mountains where no other beast dares to tread. And when spring returns, When the sun once again kisses the peaks of Yellowstone, the first cries of newborn bighorn lambs echo from the cliffs. They are living proof of a species that has defied time, of a will that God Himself has instilled, a strength that can never be broken. It does not rely on speed. It does not wield sheer power. Yet it dominates landscapes where even the fiercest of creatures fear to go. God did not create the bighorn sheep for battle, but if challenged, it does not retreat. He did not place it in easy pastures, but upon the most treacherous cliffs, so that with every step it may prove that strength is not just in muscle, but in will. And so, upon the towering peaks of Yellowstone, among the sheer rock faces where only the sky and the wind are its companions, the bighorn sheep climb still, defying gravity, defying the elements, defying the very limits of nature itself, because it is not merely an animal. It is a conqueror, a guardian of the cliffs, a creature of defiance, placed upon this earth by God to remind us that no obstacle is insurmountable, no challenge unconquerable. Amid the gentle currents of winding rivers, beneath the tranquil reflection of the sky upon still lakes, God placed the North American beaver in Yellowstone, not as a predator, not as a conqueror, but as a master architect, a tireless craftsman shaping the wonders of the wild. It does not wield the razor-sharp claws of the mountain lion, nor the deadly speed of the gray wolf, nor the overwhelming power of the grizzly bear. Instead, the beaver possesses something far greater: persistence, intelligence, and the hands of a builder. God did not create the beaver to wander aimlessly. He gave it a divine mission: to transform the wilderness, to sculpt watery gardens, to bring life where there was none. As the golden hues of sunset dance upon the surface of Yellowstone's lakes, the beaver is more than just an animal. It is a craftsman, a planner, an architect of nature. With chisel-like incisors as sharp as a carpenter's blade, it fells mighty trees, clearing the way for the grand structures etched into its very instincts by God Himself. When rushing waters threaten to wash away the land, when floods threaten to erase entire valleys, the beaver does not run. It builds, branch by branch, log by log, willow by 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 willow. It constructs, not merely blocking the flow of water, but shaping it, turning barren stretches into thriving wetlands where fish multiply, where waterfowl find sanctuary, where trees take root in the enriched soil. The dams the beaver builds are not just homes, they are the foundation of entire ecosystems, shelters for hundreds of creatures that rely on the stability it provides. But Yellowstone is no gentle paradise, and the beaver is not granted an existence free of trials. It does not hunt, but it is hunted, a target for silent predators lurking along the riverbanks. The gray wolf waits in the reeds, the mountain lion stalks from the shadows, the grizzly bear prowls the waterways, all watching, waiting for a moment of weakness. But God did not make the beaver defenseless. When darkness falls, when the breath of predators lingers over the silent waters, the beaver does not flee. It disappears. Through the labyrinth of tunnels and hidden pathways it has carved beneath the river, it slips away beyond the reach of fang or claw. It dives deep, slapping its broad tail against the water, a warning to its kin, before vanishing into the safety of its submerged fortress. God did not create the beaver to fight, but to survive through ingenuity. But the beaver's mission is greater than its own survival. Through its relentless construction, it guides the rivers, prevents erosion, and carves out the wetlands, those hidden oases where forests flourish, where migratory birds find rest, where fish thrive in the cool depths. Without the beaver, rivers would rage unchecked, sweeping away the land. Without the beaver, shallow waters would dry, leaving the landscape barren. God did not place the beaver in Yellowstone as just another creature, but as a vital force woven into the ecosystem itself. It does not roar like the lion. It does not hunt like the wolf. It does not wander like the bear. It builds, it creates, it preserves. And when the streams flow strong, when the forests at the river's edge grow lush and green, when the waters teem with life, that is the beaver's legacy, the silent mark of an unseen architect whom God entrusted to shape the land. Not the strongest, not the fastest, but the one who changes the world in its own way. And so, amid the rushing rivers, beneath the towering trees of the lake shore, the beaver toils on, unceasing, unyielding, constructing water kingdoms that no other creature could ever create. God did not make the beaver a warrior. He made it a guardian, a creator, a keeper of Yellowstone's eternal rhythm. Deep within the ancient forests of Yellowstone, where crystal clear streams weave through emerald valleys, where towering trees cast their endless shadows, God placed the black bear, a traveler through time, a warrior of the shadows, an embodiment of endurance and adaptability. Not a ruthless predator like the mountain lion, not an unstoppable force like the grizzly, not a pack hunter like the gray wolf. The black bear does not need to dominate to survive. It does not need to fight to claim victory. It simply follows the path God intended, living in its own way, strong yet silent, independent yet resilient, a survivor that never yields. Across the vast meadows and through the thick woodlands, the black bear claims no kingdom, no fixed domain. It does not build empires like the beaver. It does not relentlessly hunt like the wolf, nor does it steal like the grizzly. It is a wanderer, a silent shadow slipping through Yellowstone, surviving by sheer wit and instinct. God did not grant it the fastest legs, but He gave it silent footsteps. God did not give it the deadliest claws, but He blessed it with agility and intelligence. God did not make it a ruler, but He gifted it wisdom to avoid unnecessary battles. When spring arrives, the black bear does not rush into conflict over food like other predators. It understands that in nature, survival belongs not to the strongest, but to the smartest. It follows the rivers, seeking the first berries of the season. It overturns stones to find insects, digs into damp earth to unearth sweet roots. And when necessary, it becomes a predator, striking down an isolated fawn or snatching an unwary squirrel from the treetops. But the black bear does not hunt for dominance. It hunts for survival, playing its role in the delicate balance that God Himself has woven into the fabric of nature. The phantom of the forest, when danger approaches, but Yellowstone is no sanctuary for the weak. The gray wolves hunt in disciplined packs, the mountain lion stalks from the shadows, and the grizzly takes what it pleases. Yet, among these powerful predators, the black bear persists, not through brute force, but through cunning and strategy. When a grizzly lumbers too close, the black bear does not stand and fight. It does not waste energy in a battle it cannot win. It simply disappears. Silent as the wind, swift as a shadow, it vanishes before danger can ever reach it. But when its cubs are threatened, when it is backed into a corner, the black bear does not flee. With razor-sharp claws and a strike powerful enough to break bone, the black bear transforms into a warrior, a fighter that refuses to fall. As icy winds sweep through the valleys, as the earth is buried beneath deep snow, as other creatures struggle to find food, the black bear is ready. It does not hunt in the blizzards like the gray wolf. It does not face the cold alone like the mountain lion. It does not scavenge for scraps like the grizzly. The black bear has already prepared. All summer and fall, it wandered the forests of Yellowstone, gathering every berry, every fish, every scrap of food nature had to offer. It has stored enough energy to turn winter into rest rather than a fight for survival. As the first snows begin to fall, the black bear retreats to a hidden den, curling up in the thick coat God gave it, and surrenders to a deep sleep, not out of weakness, but to rebuild its strength, not to hide, but to prepare for the coming spring. It does not have the strongest claws. It does not have the fastest legs. It does not have the largest domain. Yet, the black bear endures, thrives, and walks through Yellowstone as a supreme survivor, a creature that defies the odds not with brute strength, but with intelligence and adaptability. And when spring returns, when the forests glow with golden sunlight, the black bear awakens, stepping out of its den once more, continuing its eternal journey as a nomad of the wild, a silent warrior whom God placed in this land to remind the world that in nature, the true victor is not the strongest, but the one who learns to adapt. And so, in the wilderness of Yellowstone, among ancient trees and glacial rivers, the black bear still walks, an immortal witness of time, a survivor who will never bow. Beneath the Earth's surface, where fire smolders in deep, unseen fissures, where steam rises from ancient underground veins, where glacial rivers carve the breathtaking valleys, God created Yellowstone as a masterpiece, a flawless fragment of nature, a world where life and wilderness are bound together in an unchanging order. Yellowstone is not merely a land, not just forests stretching endlessly, mountains standing resolute, or vast plains fading into the horizon. It is a symphony of nature where every creature, from the smallest to the mightiest, plays an irreplaceable role in the eternal dance of life. Here, rulers of the sky command the heavens. Bald eagles soar above, their wings casting shadows over the meadows and winding rivers, guardians of the wild, messengers sent by God to watch over this sacred land. Here, wanderers of the deep forests walk their untamed paths. Gray wolves move through the misty dawn, Yellowstone's cold-hearted warriors, enforcing nature's law with the instincts and wisdom bestowed upon them by the Creator. Here, giants of the wilderness observe in silence. Grizzlies stand at the river's edge, gazing upon the flowing waters as if they have witnessed the passage of thousands of years, as if they embody time itself. Here, builders of the future toil endlessly, fulfilling the mission nature entrusted to them. Beavers sculpt the landscape, carving rivers, shaping wetlands, and maintaining the balance of the ecosystem, not with brute force, but with precision and patience. Every creature here is not just alive, it is part of an eternal cycle. No being is without purpose. No existence is in vain. Yellowstone is not a land of stillness. It is a place of movement, a perpetual song, a cycle of life and death, of freezing winters and rebirth in spring. When spring arrives, glacial streams thaw, releasing pure waters across the plains. Newborn moose take their first shaky steps. Bear cubs emerge from their dens to see the world for the first time, and wolf packs howl to signal the beginning of a new era. When summer unfolds, Yellowstone wears a vibrant green mantle. Bison herds thunder across the open grasslands, deer prance through shaded groves, and eagles soar in the boundless sky, watching over a world teeming with life. Then autumn sweeps in, bringing crisp winds and golden hues to the forests. This is the season of preparation. Wolves hunt with greater urgency, grizzlies and black bears scavenge the last berries of summer, and flocks of migrating birds trace their ancient roots across the sky. And when winter drapes the land in white, Yellowstone does not die. It sleeps, it breathes, it waits to awaken once more in the light of spring. Nothing is accidental. Nothing is random. Everything in Yellowstone exists by divine design. Every mountain, every river, every endless plain, they are the scriptures of nature. Every gust of wind, every howl of the wolf, every wingbeat of the eagle, they are whispers of the Creator. Every life that begins and ends, every dawn that breaks and every night that falls, they are the movements of an unending symphony composed by God Himself. Yellowstone is not just a park, not just a wilderness. It is proof of nature's eternity, of creation's strength, of the perfect balance set forth by God. And so, as time passes, as winters return, as wolves vanish and reappear, as grizzlies are born and fade, as rivers carve new paths, Yellowstone remains a symbol of untouched wilderness, a divine jewel of the world, a living testament to the ever-turning cycle of life. God created Yellowstone not just for humankind to behold, but for nature to sing its own song, for life to write its own story, a story with no end, a symphony that never ceases, a legend that time can never erase.
With the wind from southwest, boys, we haul our ship to